now let's get into the segmentation strategy and really look at how did we come up with these various segments? So these are all fine and dandy here, but how do we come up with this peer-to-peer donor? So I'm going to actually just navigate to my campaign strategy here, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. And you may have noticed I was using the same campaign strategy for more than one campaign. So this is an important thing that we see over and over again. If you build a segmentation strategy, agnostic of your channels, agnostic of your campaign, whether you're using AmpliPhi or you're doing so with regular queries or anything else in RaisEdge, if you build it agnostic, then you can actually reuse it and save a tremendous amount of time. And so here we've got this segmentation that we were working on. And you can see I've got my segments, monthly, new donors, and annual. And within each of these segments, I've got criteria that I will show you here. So I've got inclusion criteria and exclusion criteria. So what this does is it basically says include all of these constituents and remove from that pool anybody that's in the exclusion list as well. I can add as many inclusions as I want. Every time I add an inclusion, it actually pulls in queries live from RaisEdge. And you can actually even create a new query in RaisEdge directly here. You can also click on the query name and open up the query directly in RaisEdge. And you can even click on the list on all these numbers are clickable to view the list of constituents that are part of that number there. So you'll see I've got my monthly donors. I've kept it very, very simple. Obviously, this can become way more complex with multiple inclusions, multiple exclusions. But for the demo, I wanted to keep it simple so we can focus on some concepts. So I've got a query or a segment rather here that's my monthly donors. I've got one here that's my new donors. And I've got one here that's my annual donors in the last 5 years. Now, an important thing to remember, again, back to concepts, is that any segmentation like this, hierarchy is important because an annual donor, if I'm looking at anybody who's given a gift in the last 5 years, I'm likely to have in that pool monthly donors or new donors as well, because they have given a gift in 5 years. And I may even have monthly donors who have given one-time gifts in the last 5 years, but who are now giving monthly as well. And so the order in which these appear is very, very important. In the way that there's ways to do that order, whether you're using RaisEdge, quick letters, or if you're doing it in Excel, the way we do it in AmpliPhi here is simply by listing them in an order. So if I wanted to, move my annual donors above my monthly segments, then what that does is it recalculates all of those segments with a preference. So anybody that's matching up to more than one of these queries will drop into the first one that they match with. Now you see drastically different results here by moving around these queries. Now, the next thing I want to show you is how these segments are here. These segments will also change based on where they are. I actually moved the annual segment here by accident. Went a little too fast. So I'm going to move that one. I'm going to drop it here. So we have our monthly, our annuals, actually the new donors. Sorry about that. Let's just go there. Monthly, new donors, and annual donors here. So let's dig into some of these a little bit more. So I've got here my monthly donors that I've expanded, and I can have sub-segments within that. So I can have my new monthly donors, which are my new donors in the last 12 months. So really focus on donors who are new to our monthly giving program. And then I've got my active ones here. And you'll notice the active ones have a catch-all. So what we've done is we're just grabbing everything that's not in the previous segment. So within my monthly pool of 2166, I'm grabbing my new monthly donors, and then everything else is falling into my active monthly donors. So this is a nice way to group things and use very, very simple logic to be able to visualize the audience as well. So we're looking to provide a lot of clarity and confidence this way by making it so that there's an easy interface for the campaign folks who have the goal and the strategy in mind, and the data folks who are maybe the ones executing the strategies and the segmentations to get together on a common interface and have the same understanding of what's being segmented and how. So very simple naming conventions, very simple queries, and that you can add and combine together. So this concept allows you to build out these complex segmentations without adding overall complexity.